If the following clip gives you acute premature ejaculation, then you might be ready.
I'm really mad I just fucked up my grandma, dude.
Wow, I'm about to kill a whirlwind that's... Oh, no, he sees me now. It's gonna be the nastiest drop ever. Come on. Yeah, that was so nasty. My main takeaway from this is look how fast he managed to type reported. So that timer's based off of about, 30 frames a second because I couldn't figure out how to do it right. And so that's like 2.75 seconds. You figured a guy named Chronic Jazz Hands who could type that fast could maybe hit some of his shots. Alright, shit talking aside, because when you play like this, the enemy team's going to do that for you anyway in their Discord. Today I'm going to go over my methodology for doing cap or CAS, both in the game. I think it's both very important. CAS standing for close air support, and cap standing for combat air patrol, which is like shooting down planes, You're actively going for them. Alright, so I brought us into the hangar. I want to kind of talk about my loadout philosophy and, what to kind of expect with this playstyle. Because if you're going to be a piece of shit, you're going to be a good piece of shit. So I generally recommend having 2 CAS planes because it is much cheaper to spawn in another plane than the same plane twice. And maybe it gives you some options or different play styles based on which planes. Also, planes that can fulfill the fighter and the bomber role at the same time is actually incredibly important. So you're not going to want to take out bombers just because they put you at a disadvantage. If you get jumped on, you want to be able to clear the skies instead of just getting shot down and doing nothing. Even if you don't clear the sky, you want a shot at it, and that's going to be your best bet at getting points. You can always go land if it's early in the match and go grab some more bombs. But 2 planes, as you can see, both of these planes carry a very hefty bomb load. And as far as bomb loads go, this is very important as well. Go into secondary weapons and have a bunch of options of bombs because you want to be able to spawn in with bombs even if you can't take the best loadout. If you know that there's 2-3 guys sitting on each other and repairing or whatever, it might be a squad or something, and you have the option to take 2 500-pound bombs or a 1,000-pound bomb, probably going to take the 1,000-pound bomb. Or if say I had not enough for this, but I literally had just enough for this loadout, other than the little bit of difference in the balance on the wings on this plane, it's really no trade-off. I would rather have the bigger bombs. So bombs is great, but cannons are even better. And at least having 20 mils and some 50 cals with exceptions in lower tiers is really nice to have. And moving on from guns, I would say is cannons. So there's a lot of planes that have big guns, which aren't always viable, but are fun to use. I'm not gonna lie. But you can honestly make a pass in this, and you can kill 1 to 2 people in a pass. I mean, this is a very powerful gun. If you get up in a little bit higher tier, I like using things on like the ME410 B6. It has 2 of the Mark 103 30 mils. They shred so freaking hard. You get a slight top down angle, it's over. At 6.7 with Germany, this is a go-to. The ME262 with the 50 mil cannon, you can kill a lot of people, and it's a very accurate gun. So and nothing's really stopping 50 mil cannon fire from the roof, so you got that going for you. And then if that didn't work out for me, I'm still gonna take out this ME410 because honestly, Germany for me has a lot of good gun platforms, so I tend to enjoy taking these planes out, and you can still be very effective without taking bombs. The last two things I want to talk about with the lineup are your ground vehicles, because this actually does matter as you want to get up as fast as you can in the sky. So a scout tank is going to be your best bet. If you can't push up and rush the objective, at least if you're able to scout a few targets and let them get killed and just stay hidden behind a hill, you can get yourself set up to have a plane right away, even if you get killed and you only scouted a couple guys, because scouting reduces your spawn points to spawn in a plane. So 100% have a light tank that you can scout with. Second most important thing is, and this is up to you, but I really highly recommend it. Even if you hate AA, still try it every time. You know, it helps the team. Because if you're gonna be a piece of shit, at least help the team. You know, like let the team get something out of it. Yeah, so bring in AA. You're gonna know what's up in the sky when you die. So, and you're gonna know who's on the ground. You can look at your team. You can see who's up in an AA, and if there's not a lot of people up in AA, consider taking out an AA and doing your team a favor, and prevent them from just getting wiped and abused and bullied, and go get yourself some free points. If there's a bunch of AAs up, it's fine. Just don't spawn in your AA. Don't waste your time. Your teammates will hopefully get the guy in the sky. And if he bombs you, then come out in your AA after that. You know, you have the option, but you know, it's better to pop back up in another, you know, heavy tank, or another tank, or you know, maybe a backup of this. This is a good tank, to be able to actually contribute to the team. Because, well, I mean, once you run out of plane options, if you didn't make your spawn points, it's over. So, all right, let's get in the game. So now I want to showcase my gameplay flow in-game, or how the round should typically look like. And then I'll show you a couple of other little strategies and tactics that tend to help me a lot as far as making this happen. So, spawn up in the Weasel, getting up here, getting ready for the, getting set up for the scouts. I know people are going to be pushing over this ridge line, and I know I can scout without exposing myself. So, popping into binoculars, popping some scouts. And then, like I said earlier, what Scout's going to do is it's going to help you get up in the plane earlier, because it does reduce your plane spawn point cost. And then there's also a researchable module that reduces that spawn point requirement even less. Why is it so hard to say? Fast forwarding a little bit here, just to kind of show, you know, it's like the beginning of the game. Look at this dumbass though. Like, what was he doing? But yeah, just like kind of getting this first little bit. And usually, like I said, it doesn't take too long. Obviously, I'm just holding the front line here, letting everybody know where the enemies are. And there it is. 229. Have the armored belts. Have enough spawn points for that and that. The first thing that I'm going to do when I spawn in, this is very, very important. Go low. Dive towards the ground. If you're low, you will not silhouette yourself to the enemies. So you do have a little bit of time before you hit the deck. You know, I'm taking a more efficient path here, but especially if you see enemies up in the sky, just dive. Just go right towards the ground, because they're not going to see the little dot in the sky that lets them know, hey, enemy's coming. Because I don't know about you guys, but when I'm in the middle of the battlefield and I'm doing all this, I'm constantly looking up and, you know, gaining situational. So, second thing you're going to want to do is create an offset. And what this means is basically you're just not going to fly straight at the enemy. But to kind of explain it a little better, I've created a little something. Alright, so I put together a little visual aid to kind of show you what I mean with offsetting. I know this is very high quality stuff, bear with me. So, you know, you have your spawn basically right back here. So this is kind of this represents your plane, and then this is the map right here. This is pretty much where in my head, when I'm flying in, this is where the enemy is looking, whether it be a plane that's flying around the AO and they're peeking and they're checking for your spawn, or somebody being on the ground just looking up for air targets. So after you dive down, go low to the ground, you're going to want to offset and bring yourself, you know, up here or over here or here or here usually. Or, I mean, you know, if you have the patience, come all the way around the backside, if you know what I mean. And then you're going to want to start your attack run in this way. That way, if the enemy is looking for you, they're way less likely to see you, and you have a much higher chance of a successful first attack run. Alright, so the next thing I want to talk about is something that you should definitely be doing the whole time, but you're going to need to look for signs of SPAA and look for enemy planes, which is going to highly dictate, you know, how you're going to approach the situation. So you want to gather that information as you're moving inbound. You're just kind of looking for planes, using your ears too. You never know, somebody could be sneaking up and trying to ambush you off the rip. Once you know roughly what you're dealing with, you're going to need to prioritize targets. And my rule of thumb is always target aircraft first. If you have a really heavy bomb, maybe see if you can get it off first without the plane noticing you, but stay fast. It's really just reading the situation, and this comes down to a lot of experience, but typically I go for aircraft first, and then AA, I either prioritize it if it's opportunistic, like they're not looking at me, or they're gonna be shooting at some other planes. But usually I'm focused on trying to get my bombs off and getting the targets that I've actually flown out to kill. If you have spotted AA, obviously don't overfly them and don't fly straight at them. It always helps to stay low and randomize your approach. If you stay low and are hidden for just a little bit and then come back in with high speed and a lower angle, you can typically make an attack run without the AA being as much of a threat to you. I know we're kind of past this point already, but one thing definitely worth mentioning is once you approach the AO, you're going low, do your pop-up, and your pop-up is just where you increase your altitude to be able to get eyes on a contact and be able to dive back down. Do that at about 1.5 to 2 clicks out. That usually gives you enough time, but once again, very situational. But you got it.
I'm gonna try to go.
Dropping a nuke!
Got the Cromwell.
Got the Sherman. Okay, so one of the last major things I want to talk about is your role at fighting aircraft, also known as Combat Air Patrol or CAP. And this role can't really be understated so much because it can really help a lot. I mean, if you've got a guy flying in with bomb drops and the ability to kill 3 or 4 of your teammates, you're saving their life, especially because most of the time they can't do anything about it, and you're the opportunity to kill that target before it gets them. One of the things to note is that if you stay low, the enemy planes that are flying in almost never freaking see you. This is like most of the time. Sometimes there's a sweaty that sees you. It happens from time to time, but like the 90%, maybe 95%, they just don't see you. Hell yeah. I got hits on everybody.
Excuse me.
Nice, he got him.
Oh
no, I saw him at the last second.
Oh my god, I just this guy. And just an honorable mention, planes with like about 30 millimeters of pin on their guns are very effective as attackers as well. So with that being said, surprisingly, the LA9 kind of slaps.
I thought it sounded good anyway. It was slower than dog shit, but it was a fun car to drive because like the momentum you could carry through turns because it was so evenly balanced. It was a fun car to drive, but it also, when I bought my truck, I just didn't drive it anymore, so I ended up selling it.
I got multiple on, dude.
So I hope at this point my philosophy is somewhat clear and that you found some things that you can implement into your gameplay. There's a lot of hate for people who play this way, especially on Reddit, but we all know Reddit just exists for people to complain. Check out this one last clip and let's just keep making them mad.
I'm pushing. You see all those? Oh, never mind. I think they died. I'm capping. Don't you love those little fucking lobs where it's just kind of like, here you go, hold that. I love those. Oh, that's gonna be tough. Okay, I got C. I'm pushing in towards B. We'll probably end up losing C, but whatever.